Ooh, go back to OBS for me. There you go. Greetings, everyone. We're finally getting to the unboxing video from the video photograph that I shared with everybody. I'd like to welcome and thank the Elder Bovey for joining me and going through all of this. And we've got young Daniel behind the computer to help all of you out with chat. So we've got all of the new CGL product available. I know that we weren't first to market, but life gets in the way a little bit, but I'm just so thankful that CGL sent us this stuff and that we've had the opportunity to show this stuff off and talk to you all about it and give you some impressions. I think what we're going to do is we'll start with the drop ships, and we'll get into the force pack, and then we'll get into the box sets, and finally we'll end with the new core rulebook. I've had a chance to read through everything that's in the box sets, and Bovey's had a chance to basically read through the whole book already, which is you're insane. So
it's worth it. It was worth it. It's good. They did an incredible job. We'll get into the details later, but as far as BattleTech non-fiction books go, this is as good as it gets.
Awesome. That's great to hear. All right, so without further ado, I think we'll get right into it, right? I mean, they don't want to really see or hear us talk. They want to see the stuff, right? So let's set this off to the side. Take that down. And let's start off with the one unit that if you're going someplace and you have a mech, most likely you're going to have a Leopard. The Leopard scale is the map scale Leopard. Taken out of the box. We had the Union out a little earlier to get the cameras all set up and everything. These are magnificent. The detail and everything that's on these, they are a lot of fun. They have a lot of really good detail. I do like that we get this. We got some fun bits here as well. Where they go, I think they go here in the middle. So I'll get this up on another screen so you guys can see it a little bit better. I think that piece there goes, once you get it in, it goes over the top there like that. But
Yep,
we're gonna try this and see what happens here so we can get it on. Ooh, I think I need that piece. Oh no, here we go. So like Randall showed in his video when he initially got it, this is the base that they have for each drop ship. I know that was, I think this is a little different than what has typically been for the Leopard, right? I know that this was always the map footprint for the Union, and I know that this is a little different for the Leopard, but that's how it goes. The really cool thing is the stem here. Now that I got it on there, there's a little ball on the top that makes it really fun. That again, if I can get this to stay, you can have, if you want, an action pose, and it'll stay on there. I'm doing a strafing run right with my dropship, which would be interesting. Things have gone wrong, I think, if you're doing that. But let's throw that up on the turntable, and let's have you guys take a look at that. We'll talk about it here a little bit while that's spinning around. The Leopard is an inner sphere dropship. It carries 4 mechs and 2 aerospace fighters, typically of how it's put together and laid out.
I guess for me, if you've played any of the video games, right? The HBS game, you're in a Leopard. The MechWarrior 5 game, you're dropping in a Leopard every time, and so that's probably where it's most famous from. Kind of has had a resurgence in popularity because of that, but it's really just a phenomenal sculpt that they've put together. And now to be able to have it in flight or landed, it has wheels on the bottom, so you can kind of
I think you can
show
kind
it
of
landing.
see that on the video here a little bit. In each of the corners there, you can see the wheels. Um, yeah, just taking in the glory that is the new Leopard. It is very very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to look at these with the detail that they put in and not be excited for the new aerospace game.
Yeah. When they showed us the three aerospace
Yeah,
fighters at Adepticon, right?
yeah.
That was a little bit of a surprise, but they're cool. I'm excited for it. For those of you that may not know, we do have. Let me bring it back here. I know you guys don't want to see us, want to look at that, but there is current playtesting going on for a quote unquote new aerospace game, Incursions, that I'm really excited to get the dropship on the table and mix it up with the aerospace fighters that I did here the other week with Max Prohaska from Rochester was here, and he's a longtime player and had played Aerotech and had a lot of good feedback of the changes that are coming or that are being talked about. Um, now that I'm sitting here looking at that base, um, grab one of the mechs. Does the mechs fit right over the top of that? So they're keyed to have
Yes.
a plastic deal go on top of it.
Yep.
Oh, that's kind of slick. I mean slick. Now let me flip that back. Oh yeah, the camera's too high.
Switch the other camera.
Oh, I suppose I could do that. Yeah, there we go. So you can see on the base there's a lip that goes all the way around so that the catalyst plastic bases slip right over the top of them and kind of lock it in, which is again I think forward thinking,
I mean,
right?
if you're going to deploy, right? So you're deploying from the dropship onto the map.
Dropping, doing a
Yeah.
drop,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So now you have spots or hexes designated for where you're going to drop into.
Perhaps, right? Not knowing what the rules
Yeah.
will look like or whatever, because I don't think that a leopard hovers ever, right? I think it's an Aerodyne. It's got to be
Yeah.
moving forward,
Yeah.
right? It's one of the favorite scenes that I have had or that's in one of the books is Wolves on the Border when Wolf's Dragoons takes Bolin the airport or their facility there, and they do the maneuver called downloading, which is dropships. Leopards are maybe 20 meters off the ground, and everybody jumps out of the dropship as it's flying, which I think would be you got to have your big balls to be able to do that. But that would be, I got to get 3 of these now so I can, diagram that up. But be awesome too. Anything else on the leopard? Because I mean, we got a lot of stuff to get through. So, is there any questions? I know we got the chat going on. Thank you everybody for joining. If you have any questions, please post that in there, and young Daniel will either let us know that there's a question or we'll try and get that done. So
as far as we know, these are a Gen Con release. So these should be coming here at the end of this month, be available for retail hopefully around September.
I think that was the call. I can't, don't quote us on that,
Yeah.
but I thought that we will have I think all of the product that we are going to show will be at Gen Con. And then I think you were right. I think things should hit the retail shelves around September.
I think that's the goal, is to get it all out by the middle of September is what they've been saying. But again, it's hopefully sooner. Obviously for all of us who want to get our hands on this stuff, that would be phenomenal. But yeah, we've experienced that in the past.
Yes, we have.
So
All right.
Why don't you crack open that next drop ship and we'll
So I'll just let everybody know. So up here, I have a screen so that I can kind of see what the video is. So if I keep looking up over here, I'm just making sure that what we think is live is live. So I apologize if it looks a little weird. This is the first time that I've done this at home set up like this. So it took us pretty much the night last night to get everything dialed in and whatever. So here we are. Anyway, so now we've got this sexy Union. So this would be, I think, probably the next most common combat carrier that you would see in the inner sphere or with the group. And again, we've got the sexy base. This one, we've got a little pack here with the bits for the Union. Let's
all the landing gear.
let's take this out. So the dropship, as it shows, is in flight mode, right? None of the doors are there, and I think have to. I know that there's. Do these? Now this is the part that's. Oh, there it is. That when you're doing an unboxing video, that you're figuring it out as you go. So they have panels that can come out that you can swap in the landing gear and have that be in there. One thing that I know it's a big ask, but I mean it's one of the things that I wish that we would have, especially on something like this, is an inset for a magnet so that we could magnetize these things so that would actually stay, because this won't stay without glue.
You can either have to sticky tack it as is,
Yeah,
or glue it and have two if you choose to have one in flight mode.
Yep. So, so the dropship has the sponsons around the outside, which I think we're all used to seeing. These are usually weapon sponsons, but for this ship, there's also the inset for where the post can go in. So again, the post is rounded here as well. It will go in each one of these insets, and there's also one in the bottom so that it can sit like so. So we'll go in the side here, and we'll get it mounted up thusly. And Vanna, will you please put that on the spinning table, and we'll get that up so that people can see the glorious Union. So the Union carries 12 mechs and also 2 aerospace fighters. So quite a bit larger than the Leopard is. But I think this is, like I said, I think it's the second most common combat dropship that's out there. Obviously, when you start talking about dropships and commonality, I think you got to really take into consideration freighters such as the Mule and other things like that. But we're not here for Sea Fox selling. We're here for combat, and combat means we get combat dropships. So,
I mean, the Union is what I think of when I think of a dropship. To me, it's the most iconic. It's in the probably art-wise, it's probably the most popular. And so, yeah, being able to drop that full company of inner sphere mechs in one ship, that's really what I think of when I think of a dropship. So, nothing against Leopard. Obviously, I have a true connection to a lot of the video games. It's what literally has me sitting here today. But at the same time, like, if I had to choose between the two, this is my jam right here. This is my go-to.
well, I mean, it all depends on how well you roll, right? I mean, how much money do you have, and can you afford to get one or not, right?
Well, that's true. That's true. And how many units you need to carry.
Well, there's that too.
If you're only bringing 4, you got a lot of extra room in that Union. But hoping to take a few extra home with me that I didn't bring.
Well, you got to
so
carry.
I might need room.
You got to have room for Mama, right? Mama's got to have her space. All right.
Absolutely. So yeah, super fun. And again, it can get turned to be vertical as if it was landing. All the things. I mean, it's set up really well.
Yeah, classic Clint just posted too, and it's one of the things that I struggle with as well, because I play. I mean, everybody here I think knows that we play a lot of Alpha Strike here, and a lot of my stuff, I'm doing everything at mech scale, right? And I've got a mech scale Leopard and a mech scale Union, or the Guild ship, that I think wonderfully done by Matt Cross. I also have the one from here from Hardware Studios. But um, while this is really really sexy, and these are great looking ships, yeah, you got to get mean with it.
I'm not going to break your stuff. Not the first day. not 3 minutes out of the box am I going to be the one that breaks it.
Yeah, that's not going. That won't go in the bottom one, and I'm not going to force it right now either. So, we're gonna be happy with it. I was gonna have a mech scale. I was gonna try and have that out so I could set these side by side, but we're here to talk about CGL product, not.
Yeah, one is that big and one is this big.
Bigger than a basketball. So, all right. Well, moving on. Yeah, right. Yeah. I think we have the new Clan Battlestar. If I remember correctly, this was the set of mechs that was in the Clan Invasion box set.
Yep. So these are the 5 mechs from the Clan Invasion box set, remastered. So they're all slightly posed a little bit different, and they're saying there's a 5% increase in detail. Yeah. It's noticeable.
It is.
This has not been opened. We did not pull these out last night, but through the packaging, you can see the crispness of the detail. In all 5 units, we have the old sculpts to compare them to. We'll put them side by side up on the turntable to show them off, and they're just a hair better. Because again, most people will have these units already, so you're asking them to buy a pack of essentially mechs that they already have all of. But as detailed as they are, they turned out incredible.
I mean, taking out the Blackhawk, right? I mean, hand me the Blackhawk there. This is the one that really stood out to me. Now there isn't. I thought the arms and everything were a little smaller and had a little more to it, but now that I get them side by side, there isn't. But looking, right directly at it, you can see the sponsons on each side are a little. The cockpit are a little different. The arm is a different pose. This one is more actionable. The new one got an action walk versus standing still. Let's put those. Let's do the black. Since we have the Blackhawk, let's put the Blackhawk down first.
All I see is a Nova. I'm not really sure what you're looking at, but to me that really looks like a Nova.
Oh no, the one stopped. Hold on, gotta fix that.
So the one on the right is the new pose, the one that again is in the action pose, and so we'll try to get them both here spinning and up and running, and so you can get a feel for the differences, and we'll try to turn them so that they both are facing the same direction. But again, just a little cleaner detail, little nicer mold lines. Everything looks cleaner about it. So kind of a good deal. Yeah, again, as someone who has multiple copies of every mech coming out of this box, I normally would be hesitant to buy something that I already have 3-4 of some of these units, but I'm definitely going to buy this. They're just that much crisper, that much cleaner. Super nice to see.
Sorry guys for my fat fingers in the way. I had this all working, and I got one turntable that acts up here a little bit, so needed a little bit of a nudge. So yeah, so I'm sorry.
Right.
The Nova. We are looking at the Nova. None of this inner sphere blue hockey, huh?
I mean, you can call it whatever you want. You're just going to be wrong.
Oh. Well, I mean, we should probably keep going. Let's go with let's put the Grendel up next. And I think, what are we doing? The new ones on the right, the old ones on the left?
Yeah, the new ones will be on the right, old ones will be on the left, and we'll try to keep them so you can kind of see. Again, the gun is actually in an actual pose, looking like it's able to fire. It doesn't look like a stationary mech anymore. It looks like an action pose, very much so compared to how the old one was.
Well, I mean, just looking at it here as I look at it on the screen, right? Just that left leg being changed that little bit to having the heel up, it makes it that much more dynamic as well. I mean, even if the gun was pointed down, it looks it looks in motion, right?
Yeah.
Which is what I think is the idea that we should have, right? I don't think we want to have static looking units. We want to have stuff that, one that really comes to mind is the Ostrock that was in one of the latest packs. We got a new Ostrock, and that one looks like it's in a running pose, and I absolutely love the look of that.
Well, and I think it's one of the things that kind of always set the metal minis apart is you can pose them, right?
Sure.
And so now actually having this in multiple poses and having one of the poses, be that action pose gives you the opportunity to have that. So if you really wanted to paint these to match each other and then put them on in different stages of the game, similar to like the jumping mechs when you want to have a jumping versus when you don't, I think it gives you the advantage of being able to do that. Plus, again, a little bit cleaner detail, a little bit crisper detail, and now you have, again, it's, to me, this is the one that really stands out as there isn't much of a comparison between the new one and the old one because the new one is just significantly better.
Hands down, it looks 100% better. 100%. I agree with you. And I apologize. Like I said, we just took these out of the box. What I probably should have done is taken them out of the box and washed them a little bit. That mech is pretty shiny on camera, and I think that's probably some of the resin or the release or anything else that's on it.
Might I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are the Alpha Strike cards the same as the Clan Invasion box?
Well, that's a really good question. I do have the cards right here. Let me pop back over here and let's take these out. I guess we could talk about the Grendel card and the pilot comes with it when Grendel right there. Okay. So we have the Grendel Prime and the Grendel A, so I think it's the same card.
I believe so.
Most likely, probably updated with PV. I don't know whether the PV. I'm almost positive the PV has adjusted a bit.
It depends on the unit.
The first
but
one,
yeah,
but
some of them have changed just a little bit with updates to some of the rules.
And I apologize. I did not. I did not go through my stack of Alpha Strike cards to find these back, and I was not going to open my last Clan Invasion that's still wrapped. So we have Christine Ott with a gunnery of 1 and a piloting of 2, and we have Maris piloting a gunnery of 3 and a piloting of 4. So for those that you're new to the game, all the force packs will come with a set of cards. These cards, one is the mech sheet, and it will have 2 different variants on it, and then we will also get a pilot card. And the pilot, so this is the Alpha Strike portion, and this is geared more towards the classic side.
Yep.
So you're getting a little bit of something in each box for each rule set. That is the mongrel. I'm sorry, I got to use the correct terminology with a clanner sitting next to me. So, all right, so we got the Grendel done. How about we do the Puma? This is my daughter's absolute favorite mech, and she uses it to good effect. And I'm sorry, again, I used the wrong term. It's an adder. Oh my God, screwing this all up. Again, we have the Prime and the A on the card, and we have the We Win, the gunnery of 3 and piloting of 4 from Clan Jade Falcon, and we have Red, gunnery of 2, piloting of 3 from your home turf, Clan Wolf. Boo. All right, so we've got those spinning. Again, we can see that the legs are a little different on this. We got a little different pose on the left arm. And I'm looking at it from a little bit of a distance away. But yeah, just those subtle differences really make the mech, I think, stand out a little bit more. I want to say as that spins there, I feel like the torso, like the whole shell, is a little smaller. It looks a little leaner, which I like. It really emphasizes it being a light mech. Maybe that's just my old eyes and in not being able to see clearly that far away. But
it definitely looks just a hair smaller, not a lot. I don't know that it's super noticeable, but it definitely appears that way from here. To me, the thing that stands out the most is the detail in the legs. They just there's just a little bit better lines, a little cleaner. Again, it looks like it's 10% better. Again, it shows how they're making progress, how they're learning how to do some of these molds and do some of the things that they're able to do now. And so it's neat. It's a lot of fun to see that after 6 years now of making these plastic minis, that they're still getting better at it. And
has it only been 6 years? It feels like it's been a lot longer than that.
Clan Invasion was what, right pre-COVID, so 2019.
Yeah, I guess.
So
I left my
seven,
tablet over there.
almost 7 years. And so yeah, it's just a little bit cleaner. Again, I like the pose. This one doesn't stand out as different because you are following up the Grendel, which is a drastically different change. So this one's just a slightly different change and just a little bit cleaner. But again, Puma's a great unit. Nice to be able to get more of these on the table, and it's absolutely devastating when your daughter fields them. So
yeah, I know that. I think it was at Adepticon they had a box from when they've done the painting and that kind of thing of leftover mechs, and I know Stone did a deep dive in that, and he pulled out all the Pumas because we haven't been able to get one in quite a while. So having access to this machine again, or these mechs as a purchasable product again, I think will be amazing, especially as a force pack. So you're not getting all the extra stuff.
And actually, they just talked about that this week on Tuesday Newsday. That the practice of having a loose box of mechs has been super popular at all of the conventions from the last year that they've done that, and so that's going to continue. I think, and I might be misquoting here, but it's either $8 or $10 a mech, depending on if you're getting the standard gray and or the colored ones out of the essentially out of the grinder kits.
Yes.
And so yeah, I mean they're I believe they're planning to continue doing that, but like most things, it's first come first serve. You get to a con, you want to dig through that box because you're looking for one particular mech and you're willing to pay $8 to $10 for this particular sculpt. You better be there early.
Well, and I'm going to take the time, right, if we're talking about singles or whatever, I got to give a shout out to my man Christian McPusher on Facebook. If you are looking for something, he's your man. So we have on the turntables the adder. I think we've done enough looking at that. I think it's time to get. Well, let's skip that one. We'll go to this one. We'll save the best for last. How's that? Just for you.
I'm not. It's
just for you.
It's not me. I'm not the one in the room.
Oh,
that
yeah,
wants
it's young Daniel,
the Timberwolf to be last. So,
all right. So we have on the turntable. Better find it so I call it the right thing. The Executioner. And the card, we have the Prime and the A for the Alpha Strike card. And we have Piddick Krishel, Gunnery 2, Piloting a 3 from, obviously, Clan Jade Falcon with that last name. And how the hell do you say that?
Hundiak?
Gunnery 3, Piloting 4 from your home state of Clan Wolf. The Executioner.
They put a lot of Wolf pilots on those because a lot of them survived. So they don't get to do that with everybody else.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Again, little different pose here. Almost a running pose, or he's
getting started.
Yeah, like he's about to take off. I like it. Like you said on the previous one, just having the heels up off the ground kind of makes it look like it's really moving. And so just a fun, change to the pose. The first one, the original sculpt does look like he's in a defensive posture. This one looks like he's going more offensive. And so just a fun change to that. And again, I got to imagine if you're staring down the field at one of these starting to run at you, that's not your best day.
You're going to start questioning a few things, right? There's decisions that were made. What do we got here? Ooh, great running pose. Yeah. Again, they've done a great job with these new sculpts. This force pack in particular, I don't think that there is a single mech that you could say is static or is standing, right? Everything looks to be in motion, which is I personally really like it. So
Move on to the last one.
well, let's move on to the last one. Young Daniel's favorite unit, and I think right behind the Warhammer and possibly the Atlas, one of the most iconic units in the game. We have the Timberwolf. Obviously, the leg stance has been switched on this one. Yeah, Timberwolf. We have
And this is the
Prime in the A again on the card. Yeah, go ahead.
Is this the 5th different one of these they've made?
This is, yeah, there's a few of them.
6?
6, 7? 6, 7? Oh, God, I did it. My daughter would be so happy with me.
It's hard to make essentially a Timberwolf Prime, which is what the sculpt is, be super different. This is probably at least the 4th Timberwolf Prime we've gotten.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to make this one stand out as super different. But again, everything is just a touch crisper. And that, it shows. Like, you might not see it on the turntable, some of the glossiness of the mech, you know, some of those things, sorry, it's not perfect. But at the same time, these are just cleaner. In person, you can see that these look different. If I handed you both of these mechs and told you, you know, you could pick one, I think everybody is grabbing the one on the right because they've done a better job.
Yeah, the one thing that I noticed the most, and maybe I really have not had a chance to really hold these, and this is literally the first time these have come out of the box. But when I was looking in the box, I thought the missile launcher, the holes for the missiles were done better, different than what the current model that we have. Again, the tighter, the better, figuring out how the molds work type of thing. I think you're just getting a better miniature.
I think of somebody like a Ryan Hansen or Bushido who are going to paint these mechs, and I think of how much easier it's going to be, or how much cleaner they're going to be able to get those missiles because the detail's just a hair better. And so when the actual canvas is better, the painter becomes better. And so I think I'm excited to see what they can do with some of these things, because the talent level on some of these BattleTech painters is incredible. And we'll talk a little bit about that more when we get into the core book, because spoiler alert, there's a lot of pictures of painted minis in the core book, and it turned out phenomenal.
It is. I sincerely hope. Again, we're on a tangent a little bit, but that is, it's one of the highlights of the book, in my opinion, is being able to see these miniatures that are gray, and then what people can make them be is phenomenal. And I think it really adds to the book. And our CSO painters that we have, they're unsung heroes in a lot of ways of what they're able to make, and watching them progress and get better, and having CGL being able to use and showcase that, I think really just, it makes everything better.
We looked through some of Andrew's collection last night and got to see some lead minis that are from 40 years ago that they're iconic, but they're kind of disgusting. They're just, they're ugly. And so to see,
when we were going through the tackle box and all the old stuff,
to look at that and then see something like this now, and to see how far everything has come and the changes to some of the units and things, it's absolutely amazing. And while I have there's nothing wrong in my mind with fielding gray plastic minis. more people probably do that than people who take the time and paint the bulk of their stuff. But at the same time, there are few things better on a table that will draw people to a table and get them to stay and look than beautifully painted minis. You cannot beat well painted minis.
100%. And you know, I'll take that one step further, because it's one of those things that we saw with Alpha Strike in particular that I know is bleeding over into Classic, is not only having well painted miniatures but having dynamic and awesome looking tables. I know the new map sets that are coming out. We'll look at some of the map sets out of the book, or out of the box sets here in a minute. But having that and getting 3D terrain and just drawing people to the tables is extremely important. And I think that's embracing that more of what I have seen CGL doing at cons now, I think is really, really helping continuing to bring new players to the table.
Well, you can't see a 2D map sheet from 30 feet away. You have no idea what's going on the table on a 2D table from 30 feet away. But if you have been to a con and seen like the HPG setup that Paul Dennis printed, it is incredible. And you can see that thing from across a room and be able to understand that looks cool. I'm going to walk over and see what's going on over there. And so being able to go and look at the units, you know, on a table, again, the painted minis make a difference up close because they're small. But at the same time, big, beautiful 3D terrain makes a world of difference in gaming.
100% agree. I mean, if you ever get a chance to look at the folks that are doing Aces, I'm trying to find their names right now. I know it's Josh Dirksen, and I'm feeling terrible that I can't remember Paul.
Lynn,
right?
Lynn Vander Studios. Right?
Yeah. But they put an amazing table together every time that they're out, and again, it's just brings people to go, what is that?
So I believe they were the first to stream their unboxing. They also got all the core products. They teased at the end of that video that they're in the process of building a special table for Gen Con.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm sorry, I do not know their names offhand. He kind of got
Jesse and Paul, I think.
He kind of got shushed by the other guy for maybe giving a little bit too much detail. But I'm upset I'm not going to Gen Con because I think that's going to be incredible. I know their winter board that they had set up to show off the Snowblind minis at this past Adepticon was incredible. And if this one is a step up from that,
hands down,
yeah,
it's amazing.
It's probably good that I'm not going because I might attempt to take it home with me, and they frown upon that kind of thing. But no, it's going to be incredible. I look forward to seeing it along with a lot of this product getting released.
All right. The Timberwolf has been on the thing for too long. We got off on a little bit on the tangent, and let's get this. Let's get rolling back to stuff, right? So I think next up we were going to talk about the new starter box. Starter box comes in with the Contio, which I know there's a lot of folks. Charles Gideon in particular has been waiting for the Contio for a while. And then we also get the Hammerhead. And I think one of the things that they said they were going for is bears versus sharks is what they're going for in the box as far as a theme for the little ones. So that's what we've got in here. And if we grab the box set that here like this. And well, first off, let's get these miniatures out and let's get those on the turntable.
Before you switch over to that, I do want to go into some of the other contents in the box because this is probably one of the cooler things I've seen. I'll hold it in front of the close-up camera. So on the back side of the pilots now is actually a detail about the mech. Gives you the date it was introduced, the tonnage, the chassis, the power plant, cruising speed, max speed, armament, jump jets, manufacturer, everything. I'll hold it in front of the little camera here as best I can if you want to switch over to that as we look at the minis. But just a fun little addition that they made. Oh, yeah.
So it's a lot of it. It's just like the top left corner of a TRO is really what it is. Yeah.
So again, it's not anything major. It's not game changing to the box. It's not going to make me want to go out and buy 3 extra packages, but it's an incredible detail that I think is just a nice addition to have in every box. So
agreed.
Again, just something fun. It's on the back of both cards. There is a card for each mech in here, and also we didn't show it up close, but the box art for that is incredible. The detail in that picture is flat amazing, and I might have to talk to Bushido about painting me that hammerhead because it is just so good. And if he can't, I always have the standee that's already painted in that.
Oh yes.
So
let's try this. We haven't tried this view yet. There we go. So here is a picture of the map that comes in the box set. Ooh, I'm trying to. I can't figure out which way I got to go. Oh, there you go. Again, not a lot of stuff on here, right? We've got a couple of trees, light and heavy. I don't think that there's any elevation change on this. Being in the starter box set, right? So movement is somewhat simplified, getting people used to just using trees, which is a great tactical thing on the table to understand and how to use. So that's that side. And then we've got a much more colorful side. Again, taking a quick look at it, I don't see any elevation changes on this one as either. So we've got a lot of trees and whatnot there as well.
to me, these are an ideal starter map, right? You've got 2 mechs here that are both more or less brawlers. So the objective is to get together, to have a brawl, to have this battle up close in person, and have the fight out. And here's the same card for the hammerhead.
Oh, I gotta flip that.
So again, gives you the tonnage, it gives you the armament, those type of things.
It's a raven. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is a snow raven mech. So
flip the other
on
side.
the other side, you have the pilot. So these are, again, a little bit different than what we have seen in the past for pilot cards. White background has been changed. And so just a nice, subtle change to something that they did that I think turned out really, really well.
I do agree with you. I think this is here's let's show that as well. We didn't show the pilot card for the Contio. These are I really do like these. That what they did here, I think really stands out. In it's just a nice fun addition.
I'll be honest. I haven't really used the pilot cards when playing games in the past, or really the Alpha Strike cards due to the availability of the master unit list. But at the same time, as clean as those are, as crisp as they are, those would be a lot easier to use, I think. They stand out just a hair more.
Agreed.
Another thing that's actually included, and again, I'll try to hold it in front of the close-up camera.
Although let's try it here first.
All right, we'll go to the big one.
Let's try this.
So you've got the half record sheets, and if you look up here in this red, these are for the first mission. And so anybody who's played Classic for a while will understand that these maybe were a little bit of an odd choice for starter mechs. I think Randall talked about it well, and he said, new players will adopt to the technology they're introduced to. Obviously, the Contio has TSM and melee and the claws, and so it's going to be interesting to introduce that to a new player. But I think the way they're doing this, and I have not read some of the other material that you have, but I think they're going to take away some of the bonus or some of the extras on some of these mechs, like the actuator enhancement system on the hammerhead and then introduce those after your first mission.
Yep,
So
it's
you're going to walk through a starter mission, then get to know these mechs on another level after. Because if you look at these record sheets, the first thing to me they're missing, there's no heat scale.
and
so,
that is part of this game is
Yep.
we don't worry about heat, is learning how to play.
So, but the one I wanted to show really bad, and because we haven't seen any variants of the Hammerhead yet.
We have not.
And so now we have a Hammerhead 2.
You might want to hold that one up,
which got teased
in front of the bigger
to the
camera.
group. But yeah, so the Hammerhead 2 is a close range brawler, full on.
Oh my God, that's ugly.
Yeah, again, because there's no amount of heat sinks listed on here. I'm going to assume it still has the standard heat sinks of the one, maybe wrongfully so, but if it has the same heat sinks as just the standard Hammerhead, this thing can alpha strike without overheating. It can run an alpha strike and not overheat. And so that is scary. Yeah, that's when I joked about having Kevin paint me a mech, that's the one I want right there with the shark teeth around the face. That is just incredible. So, little spoiler there, the Hammerhead 2 is now a thing, and I couldn't be more excited. The Hammerhead has been a top 3 favorite of mine since the Premium Mini came out. And sadly, the Premium Mini wasn't maybe up to expectation. I know they re-released the torso and that fixed it. I still think I own a half dozen of those.
I have many of them as well.
And so just a lot of fun. But also included in this package, we've got a half record sheet for the Solitaire, a half record sheet for the Uziel, the Rakshasa, and then another one for the Contio. And again, they give you a little more detail on the backside about some of the quick start rules and how pulse lasers work and how the claws work. And so all these cards are double-sided and give you a little more detail about the things on the front to kind of introduce you to those. And all the mechs that have additional record sheets in here also have a standee that comes with this. And again, I'll give the FOC guys credit because they're the ones I saw talk about this. For the first time that I can remember, the standees have facings. So on the back side of the standee is now the back of the mech. Instead of both sides having the same picture, you actually have a front and back to the standees. And so kind of a neat way to do that. I know we don't really play with them. It's not typically seen on our table. Sadly, I just actually buy more mechs instead of using the standees. But just a nice little feature to have.
No, that is very cool. And I know that T.O. PA is in the chat, and I just wanted to let him know that they must have heard you or they channeled you a little bit because we have smoke templates in the starter box. So yay for you, right? Every time I turn around, he wants smoke. So there you go. We got any questions in the chat? Weird question. If you put the two mechs as if they're standing in front of each other in adjacent hexes, does the Contio actually punch the Hammerhead? Well, I don't know. Let's put a map out.
All right.
Let's put them on a hex base and see what that looks like, I guess.
Yes.
I guess.
100%.
Yep. Sorry, I can't zoom in on that right now.
Well, let's go back to this.
Okay. We'll put them on the turntable. There you go.
Put them on the same turntable.
There we go.
And put them face to face, and he is 100% hitting him.
So 100% follows the box art, I think, right?
Yeah.
Right. What we've got there. So
well, it's the other.
Thanks for that. That's awesome.
It's the other hand, but it's very neat. So little attention to detail. Again, that's probably what stands out to me. And we haven't gotten into everything yet, but so far, the little details that the little thoughts that got put into a product that I think came out pretty fast. I mean, 6-8 months ago, we found out that this was going to be a thing.
They moved pretty fast.
And it's I mean, it's already in people's hands. I know it's not many, but it's some people.
And I know the FOC guys made really good comment about this. So we want to make sure that these get their time on the turntable as well. We also get the amazing D6s in the box sets.
I mean, really, that's why you're buying the box.
Oh, 100%.
You're buying the box for the dice. You get the mechs for free.
I mean, look at those pips.
And so, just clean. I don't ever see the ones with the 6s on them, but I it's nice to be able to see them on the turntable because I don't ever see those on the table. So
we have also go back, so we have smoke and we have heavy smoke, right? Back side of that. And then we've also got, I think for the missions, we have objectives and then there are question marks for on the table. So I think those can actually be used for, other scenarios and other things like that. So what's next?
Yeah. So literally your standard advertisement that they're throwing out, a what's next, kind of a where to go from here, right? You're a brand new player. You get the starter box and it kind of walks you through where to go to look for the next things between the Catalyst store, looking at camo specs to figure out how to paint it, as well as future products to buy. I grew up in the G.I. Joe era. So to me, the greatest thing they could possibly do, and this isn't a shot, this is just, I would love to see one day if they would take and put an unreleased product in one of these, right?
Oh,
what's next? And all of a sudden it's something that no one has seen yet.
That would require a lot of planning.
as everyone is opening their starter box, their core box, their next force pack, maybe it's just one of the card sizes, maybe it's on one of these sheets. It's just, hey, coming soon. And it's all of a sudden, here's a new product. And so I would geek out over that because it would be a neat way to find out that stuff is coming. I also tend to buy things as soon as they come out, so I wouldn't have to find out about it through the internet. I actually might find out about it in person, and so that would be kind of neat. But yeah, so that's in there.
We also have, so on the other side of that, it is the quick start rules and kind of walks through the record sheet of a full record sheet. Which is not in this set, but giving you a little preview of what the core box set and the enhancements that you'll get out of that. So, all right, what else we got in here?
So here we got a little bit of a primer that's going to tell you about basically becoming a mech warrior, and it goes into, here's the map of the inner sphere in the current timeline, and then kind of what a battle mech is and what a mech warrior is. The part about this that I absolutely love is, again, syncing everything together. This is the Contio about to punch the Hammerhead pilot right before,
from his viewpoint.
So right before, I mean,
that's after. Yeah, that's right before in the after picture.
Here's the before and after of this impact. But the first view is the view from the Hammerhead's cockpit as he's about to get smoked with those claws. And so, again, attention to detail, small things that are just fun to see.
Yes, 100%.
So, and yeah, just the quick start rules, and then a little bit. This is a true starter box. And again, I questioned right away why they would pick these two units. I think they did a really good job with starting with an intro game and then giving you the advanced tech. And overall, yeah, TSM is a hair complicated, but it's not that tough. Actuator enhancement systems a hair complicated, but not that tough.
Hardened armor as well.
Yeah, hardened armor.
Just another thing to track.
You're introducing a few things to players right away, but you're also dumping them into the Ilklan era, which has been the goal for a while now. They want players to play in the current era. And so we've talked about this many times of it feels like they're trying to find an anchor point, right?
Yeah.
So people who started way back in the day is 3025, right? They play 3025. That was where they came in. That's their game. Clan Invasion era kind of became the next point, and that brought people into the game. And then we've had some small resurgences since then, but they really want to make this an anchor point in the game where this is a great place to start. This is a great place to go. And I think tying things together and having that attention to detail in every product is really going to do that.
Yes. Agreed. We'll pop this up one more time real quick. Look at those miniatures.
We'll separate them again.
So we have the Contio and the Hammerhead. And I have a feeling that this box set will sell like hotcakes just because of that Contio. I think there's a lot of folks that were looking forward to that. I think honestly, it was actually a surprise to hear that the Contio was going to be in the starter box, because I thought it was supposed to be in a star pack. That was when we got that a couple of years ago for here's the upcoming releases of force packs. That was like in wave 4 or 5, and then all of a sudden we get it in the starter box.
It makes a lot of sense to have these be fun mechs to draw new people in. They're both brawler mechs. You're gonna start creating very small scale short games real tight together. And so yeah, I think it works out really well. And again, you're gonna buy a Contio, you probably gotta have two.
You got to have 2 of everything. That's my motto. All right.
Hey, Dad, now's your chance to ask the legend for his thoughts on painting the neck.
So is Bushido in here?
Bushido's on.
Yep.
We only talked about him a little bit so far.
It was all
So
semi-positive. All right, so now I think we're getting into some more of the more fun or the things that people are looking for. So we are now going to talk about the core box, and this goes hand in hand with the new core book. And one of the things that we noticed, I think you were looking through it last night, was there's a lot of tie-in between the new core box and the starter box. Like in this new box set, there are record sheets and more enhancements for the starter box to bring those 2 things together.
it's 2 products, but they're designed to be one. I mean, it's a 1A 1B. For instance, the Alpha Strike cards for the starter box are in the core box. That's something we got to show off.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
let's take it out of this thing.
This is a chef's kiss add-on.
This is again one of those add-on things that is just bar none. Somebody was really thinking.
Well,
so,
to me, this is something of it's a thing that you never thought to make, that you wonder why you didn't. Right?
Now that it's here, yeah,
after
100%.
After 40 years, this would have been super easy.
Right.
And I never thought to make one. I'm sure there are people out there who have made something similar. Let's put it in front of the small camera here, and it is literally just a hit table on the front, right? Tells you where you're hitting when the number you roll. So again, the floating crits are on there, but it tells you that you may have to look at the determining critical hits table. And then on the back is just a cluster table, but it contains all the different sizes. So you've got your SRMs, MRMs, ATMs.
There you go.
All the different sizes are included. So no matter what missile system you're using, you should be able to find the cluster table for it here. Or if your hags and everything else are on here too. You've got your 30 and your 40 and everything together. So just kind of a neat way to have that, trying to make it so it's not reflecting. But yeah, again, just a super neat 2-sided card that is set up to be able to, it comes in that little plastic sleeve. I don't think I would remove it from that. Or I'd find like a whatever size baseball card holder that this would go in, but just something super easy to have at the table, have next to you all the time as a quick reference sheet.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the left and right side tables changed a little bit.
I don't think so.
No?
No. Okay. I'm pretty sure the table stayed the same as far as what you're going to roll to where you're going to hit. Okay. It's your left side is easier to hit with left. Your right side is easier to hit with the right. So I don't believe they changed them. It's now shown on the diagram.
Okay. All right. Along with that, we have a bunch of Alpha Strike cards. Again, I really, really like what they've done with the pilot cards. Instead of getting 2 pilots, we get 1 pilot in the top left piece of a TRO for each of the mechs. I don't know if you want to show just a couple examples, or if people would like, I mean, we can show all of that. I don't know whether the
I mean, if we're going to put the mechs up one at a time, I can use one turntable and maybe half block the other side of the screen. We'll try to make that work. There's no promises, but we'll make that work as best we can.
Topa asked what's the card measurements, and then he said they scrapped the left and right side change.
Oh, so the hit chart deal is a bit odd. It's a 5x3, so I don't know if they make a sleeve for that or not.
I'm
But
sure they do.
it comes in. It comes in a their typical protective sleeve. The only thing that I will say is this sleeve does have a hole in the middle of it. About right there. There's a little hole, I think, just for air, so it goes in and out a little easier. But yeah, handy reference card. What's that? Make sleeves for it. Awesome. So there you go. So let's start off with we'll go light. We'll go small to heavy. How's that?
All right, I'm going to put them on the left table and attempt to hold the cards up on the right. Want to switch us over here?
Got it switched over.
So
should have gotten a little card stand. My bad.
Is the
what?
Yeah, there we go. So the Hollander is the one side of the cut record sheet for it. Other side. It's just a walking gauze rifle. This is the Inner Sphere's answer to a walking gauze rifle. And so again, as you look at the card, it's just going to tell you this is its weapon system is just a gauze rifle. I think there's a couple other variants that have a heavy improved gauze rifle or an LBX-10 or a few things, but really this was just a way to get a 5.8 gauze rifle on the table with nothing else. And so, yeah, just a kind of a fun little mech. Again, it's a nice, light Inner Sphere mech. We don't have a ton of those, and so this is just a good way to get a large scale weapon on a small mech and get it to the table.
100%.
It's not a terrible Alpha Strike unit either.
What is the card for it? So we get the W4, put it back on, and we get the F3. Those are new. But Gauss rifle, obviously, it's a 2.22 across the board. The one moves 10 and the other moves how fast?
10.
Both 10. Oh, big armor difference on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, the W4, again, only has 2 armor, 1 structure, 18 points, 10-inch move, whereas the F3 has 2 armor, 3 structure for 20 points with a 10-inch move. So for those 2 points, you're getting quite a bit of extra armor, or quite a bit of extra pips overall. So, yeah.
Next up is Solitaire. So this is a, I think this is one that you hold near and dear, as this was a fairly popular Clicks miniature for the game.
We talk a lot about how the mechs get chosen, like who decides what's going to go in a box set, right? And I believe his name is Steven, is one of the people at CGL who he fully admits that he came in through the Clicks game.
Okay.
And so I think with looking at some of the units in this box, I think he had some say, because the Mad Cat or the Mad Dog Mark IV, Vulture Mark IV, if you want to call it that, and then the Solitaire are both very much so. They were big in the Clicks game, and they were very popular units in the Clicks game. And so to see those now on the tabletop, hopefully we'll see them more. I actually think, and we'll get to that one, the Mad Dog Mark IV is a somewhat popular. There's variants of that are very popular in Alpha Strike. We don't necessarily see that as much here in Minnesota, but I do think it's a very commonly used unit. I don't know if it's the C or the D, but they're both very good units.
Yeah.
And so, but back to the Solitaire. Again, 20-inch mover TMM4, 36 points, 330, 3 armor, 1 structure. You're really just a fast.
That's a decent.
A fast move. I mean, to me, it's. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. It's very similar to a gunsmith, right? I think
Sure.
it has a similar attack profile.
Yep.
Similar movement profile. And so now you're getting another option to field a fast moving unit. And here we're gonna ramp up to 26-inch move on a TMM4, 36 points, 330. Again, still that 3 armor 1 structure. So
how much? That's a new variant.
yeah.
In the master unit list, there's only Solitaire and Solitaire 2. That Solitaire 3 is a new unit. I'm curious as to how do you get 6 inches more movement and not have the price go up?
And really the only thing you're giving up is the E&E. And so this obviously goes to case, so you're still going to take that 1 point of damage with an ammo hit instead of taking death. But at the same time,
I take the 3 every day.
The E&E, yeah, the E&E, you're avoiding ammo hits, but you're losing 6 inches of movement for the same exact price. So yeah, again, I feel the same as you do. The Solitaire 3 is probably the obvious choice for me, especially when you only have that limited armor and structure. If we're talking crit hits on a unit with 1 structure, you're probably not having a good day as it is. So, and again, in classic, it's a heavy large laser on a unit that moves 10-15, and so just a fast moving mech. And I'm not sure which variant it is. I think it's the Solitaire 2 that actually has mask, and so then it moves 10, 15, 20. And so you get behind somebody with that heavy large laser and really put something into them. And yeah, it is the Solitaire 2.
So the Solitaire 3, we have a record sheet for it, is a heavy small, an ER small, an improved heavy large laser, and another ER small. So that's the record sheet for the 3.
So why is that not E&E?
Really good question. Well, no, the 3 is E&E. No,
No,
the 3 has case.
the 3 has case.
Oops. So
there's no ammo in it.
There's no ammo in it, and there's no ammo in the Solitaire either. So
Does and this is probably a Clint question since he's on. Do heavy improves explode?
That
No.
might be the only thing.
no,
I don't think so. Yeah,
the heavy improved just removes the +1
Right.
for shooting. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's an interesting.
Something
That
has
might
to
be
explode,
interesting.
otherwise
Yeah.
it would just be E&E.
Well, according to typically the E&E and case is based on weapon loadout, and
Yeah.
that did not have anything that explodes. Anyway, we might have found a bug, might not, but here the problem is they're all printed already. So we're gonna deal with it.
we're gonna just keep going up in size.
There we go.
All right.
So I think we'll do the.
Hesby says improved heavy laser explode. So that's
Okay.
There's why we have case.
Haha.
Got it. Good job there, big guy. All right, so we got the Eris is up next.
No matter how many times I read the book, there's something I actually.
There's always I do retain something.
I,
All right, so we have the 2H Eris, and we have the 2N Eris. So I know those two are variants that are on the master unit list. For those that don't know, master unit list .info is a official site that has every unit in the game. It's primarily for Alpha Strike, but you can build your force for the classic side there. There are a lot of third-party tools that I think get that done a little bit better. I know that we use Master Unit List and Terminal, which is a third-party tool, a lot for doing 350 and Alpha Strike cards, but I think MechBay is probably one of the more popular sites to go to for classic record sheets and being able to see that information of what's the sheet and what are the units and what are the specific weapons per mech.
Yeah, MEKBAY MechBay is the one I typically use. It just again it has the Alpha Strike cards, it has the classic record sheets. It's going to give you battle value calculations. You can change piloting skill and gunnery and everything. Eris is we'll go through the Alpha Strike card again. 35 points. TMM2, 10-inch jump, 442. 5 armor, 2 structure with case 2 for the Aris 2H. And then the Aris 2N has that 14-inch jump, 10-inch move, TMM2, 38 points, 331. So with that increased jump, you got Jump Strong 1, 5 armor, 2 structure, case 2. Then it also adds in the indirect fire 1. So again, similar point values with from 35 to 38. And then
well, let's go here. I got the 2H here. We've got 2 ER mediums, 1 heavy PPC, and 1 streak 6, and that's a pretty decent loadout for a medium mech. For 50-ton mech, I like that loadout. And then we go, yeah, and then we go to the 2N,
and the 2N is actually on the sheet. Again, with the standard armament of that snub nose PPC, 2 MML5s, and then 3 small X pulse lasers. And so, yeah, I mean, you've got a fairly fast moving. What's the movement profile?
587.
587 because of the partial wing. And so you've got a fairly fast, I guess moderately fast moving medium that's going to jump like crazy and have some hitting power once it gets there. I believe last night we talked about there's another variant. It's the 3N, I think it is, 3R, and it has like 24 single shot rocket launcher 10s on it.
You had me pull that up, and
it's
ridiculous.
It's absolutely gross. It's like a meme mech. You're gonna take 80 points of heat if you launch all your rocket launchers at once, but you're gonna fire essentially 240 missiles at short range into somebody. So just a lot of fun, kind of a neat setup. Again, this is the second one in this box where we've seen, or in the 2 boxes, I should say, where we've seen them take a former premium mini and turn it into now a standard production mini. And I know the premium minis were never amazing. They always had some issues. I love that they gave you extra arms, extra legs, made them dynamically posable. And so there's value add there in the fact that they're posable. But the crispness and cleanness of not only the Hammerhead, but this Aris really just makes them better.
Yes. No, I mean, the Aris was a premium. I bought one. I never really put it together, but this is calling to me. I mean, I really like that as a medium mech. I mean, if I'm going to play classic, this is going to be a mech I'm probably going to reach for. For me, the weapons profile and the movement profile really sings to me. So nice model, and it looks great. Looks great.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the next one. This one I do enjoy a lot. I know our Bushido really enjoys this one as well. This is the Uziel. So we have a plastic Uziel, and this is phenomenal. And we actually get a new variant in the box as well.
And so the Uziel 2S is going to be a 12-inch jumper for 32 points, 332, 4 armor, 2 structure with probe and recon. Again, fairly fast-moving recon mech.
Let me read off the classic stats are 2 PPCs, 2 machine guns, and an SRM-6 that comes with an active probe or a Beagle. Classic MU 696.
Another thing is that SRM-6 on this is in the head because it has a torso-mounted cockpit.
No, it is center torso.
Oh,
cockpit is in the head. It's just uniquely situated.
Okay, because on I believe all the other variants, it is a torso-mounted cockpit. I have to look now.
No, it never has been.
Huh. I am wrong. Not the first time.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, the backside, we got the 9S.
And this is a new variant.
Another jump strong unit with that 16-inch jump, 12-inch move, 36 points. TMM2 332, 4 armor, 2 structure. Yeah, this is the new variant in the record sheet.
And the record sheet is pretty awesome. We have 2 light PPCs with capacitors, so that allows you to basically charge the PPC to do 5 extra damage, if I remember
5
correctly.
extra damage for 5 extra heat.
For that says heat is, with it would be 10. I don't know. I'll have to. I'm not a classic guy, really. I got to look at it. So we have 2 light PPCs with capacitors, 2 medium lasers. The SRM6 is still there, but this adds a targeting computer, and we have improved jump jets. Both these units, though, do have the Intersphere XL engine, which has three engines in the torsos, which is can be a bit of a vulnerability, if you will. But this is also, again, a very fun and new variant that should prove to be interesting. That 16-inch move is a lot of fun.
You end up seeing in tournament play and competitive play a lot of Uziel 8Ss.
Yes.
That 4 medium pulse lasers, 588 movement, streak SRM6. It's just a devastating unit once people can actually get it out and get it in front of you, because you can't get away from it. With that 8-inch jump, you're not going to hit it. Plus all those pulse lasers, now it can still hit you. So.
All right. Well, let's get into the heavy units that are in the box set. Up next, we have the Vulture Mark IV. Vulture Mark IV is a 60-ton unit.
The thing that stands out about me to this one, and I'll say this as I hold the cards up, the torsos aren't as wide. If you ever looked at the Clix Mini or the Metal Mini, they had these massively wide
huge
missile bays
yeah.
in the torsos. And this really tightened that up, cleaned that up, made it look
like a 60-ton mech.
Well, probably like it should.
Yes.
And so, yeah. Vulture Mark IV Prime, 46 points, 10-inch move, TMM2, 442, 8 armor, 3 structure, crit resistant, flak 000 star, Omni SRM22. So, again, just a fairly good prime unit, but not really anything that stands out as special.
This is a new variant.
Now, the new variant is a TMM2 10-inch moving Vulture E for 56 points, 660, 8 armor, 3 structure, still crit resistant, adds ECM, light probe, recon.
And what we've got from the classic side, we have a Proto Mech AC8, 1 improved heavy medium in the right arm, 2 streak 6s, a light active probe, 2 streak 6s in the other torso, in ECM, and 2 ER smalls in the center torso. So that's the E.
It does say Proto Mech AC8. Shouldn't it be a prototype?
Well, it says no Proto Mech. There is an AC Proto Mech.
Oh, all right. Interesting.
That's why it's an AC8 and not a 10.
Right.
But yeah.
Again, standard primary configuration is the card in here with that extended range PPC, LB5X, 4 SRM6s, and then 2 ER small pulse lasers. So yeah, the standard the prime variant comes with all that, and then our pilot.
Oh, and it's even a Torian Concordat, which is, we'll get into that once we get all the mechs out. Well, I'll talk about that a little bit. I do have obviously I do have a small gripe with it, but we'll address that here in a little bit.
All right. So yeah, that's our Vulture.
All right, and the next heavy mech is the Rakshasa.
We've given them some credit going on here, but again, I believe it was the FOC guys who referred to this as the Temu Timberwolf, and so that's going to stick with me probably forever.
Yes.
But yeah,
that was pretty good.
I've seen the memes of, we have a Timberwolf at home. Mom, can we get a Timberwolf? No, we have Timberwolf at home, and this is the Timberwolf.
This is the Timberwolf we get.
But this is really, I love this thing because it actually is what would happen. You know, if you think about with the story of BattleTech and how everything has gone in the lore, this is what would happen if a couple of bad engineers got a hold of a Timberwolf and tried to remake it, or
and didn't have the ability to make it the right way,
or got a hold of pieces of a Timberwolf that had been torn apart and tried to remake it.
Sure.
And so this is I like this thing because I like how it fits in the lore. The sculpt is super well done, super clean. And we've got the Rakshasa 1A, 45 points, 10-inch move, 444 damage profile, overheat 1, 7 armor, 3 structure with indirect fire 1. So again, it's probably not a super standouty mech, but just, you know, it's doing roughly that 1 damage per 10 points that I think a lot of people look for, with decent armor. And so you've got a fairly solid mech there. Here we're going to switch to the 3D.
This is a new variant.
Okay, new variant here, 43 points, TMM2, 10-inch move, 343 overheat 1, same 7 armor, 3 structure. You're really giving up all the specials on this one. And so, yeah, just a fairly standard inner sphere unit, I'm going to call it. I mean,
let me read you the stats on this little bad boy. So we've got 75 tons. It's a 375 XL, which is a inner sphere XL engine, which gives you the 3 in each torso. But here's the weapons loadout. 2 Clan ER large lasers, 2 Clan ER small lasers, 1 ER medium Clan laser, and then 2 extended range LRM-10s. That's a interesting mix there.
Yeah.
So the Clan ER larges go out to 25. The extended LRMs go medium is 22, long is 38.
Wow.
Show me a classic map sheet other than these starter box set ones that you'd be able to maybe have 38 hexes of clear line of sight to drop them.
They're really making they're really long range is now really long.
Yeah, well,
Right.
I mean, the thing on that card is that it had IF1, so you could really stand back and let people have it.
You're reaching out to touch someone at that point.
Yep.
All right. Again, the 1A standard model, 2 LRM-10s, 2 ExoStar extended range large lasers, 2 Martel medium lasers, and 1 Martel medium pulse laser. So yeah, this is, as the boys said, this is the Temu Timberwolf, and so you're getting a lot of the same things, only just none of them are as good. But yeah, the Rakshasa, again, beautiful sculpt, super fun to finally have that in as a unit, and yeah, just a.
I should have had these up first. My apologies. All right, so that ends the heavy mechs from the
and then if you want to compare.
Oh, well, there we go. Oh,
that new dice smell gets you every time.
Just leave them there. All right, whatever. Next up, we have the Mad Cat Mark II, and this is a fun unit that I think a lot of folks. I like this mech. It's got some interesting variants to it. Go ahead.
When the Timberwolf tells you his big brother will come and kick your ass,
this is that guy.
This is who he calls.
This is
right?
the guy.
This is who's coming over here. And there are days when you sometimes 75 tons can't get done what 90 tons can. So we'll get over that. But so yeah, Mad Cat Mark II, 54 points.
Speed paint. Hold on. Speed paint my masters and units list. Come on, dude. That's awesome.
Whoa.
That was a kick in the shorts, man.
Whoa.
Oh.
A lot of yelling over there for some reason. I'm trying to go through the mech.
Sorry.
775 attack profile, 54 points, 8-inch move, 6-inch jump.
This is a solid. This
eight,
is a solid.
8
mech.
armor, 5 structure, with case 1, indirect fire, and LRM 111. So you've got a solid heavy hitting clan unit.
And this is a new variant.
This is the 7, the Mark II 7, 54 points, 775, 8-inch move, 6-inch jump, maintaining that 8 armor, 5 structure with case. Also overheat 1. I didn't look.
Let me read you the stats from the classic side on this bad boy. We have 2 rack 5s, 2 streak 10s, 2 ER medium lasers, and 2 ER small lasers.
It really doesn't get better than dropping a rack 5 on somebody.
Maximum heat dissipation on this bad boy is 34, and I think that it can generate 28. So you're holding triggers down on this bad boy, I think. Now it's 5 per shot, right? So I'm assuming that damage profile is only, being a wuss on that rotary autocannon, only shooting 1 instead of holding the button down. So
rotaries are 1 heat per shot, so you could do if you're going to take.
If I'm holding it down to do all 5, it's 5 points of heat.
You can do 6, I believe.
Oh, well,
right.
Shit.
So you could take 6
well,
shots.
Well, this says damage heat 1. Okay, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's going to be 5-point groupings up to 6 salvos at 1 heat apiece. But you're marking off ammo fairly quickly with that thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, a rotary is capable of dealing 30 points of damage in 1 turn. A rotary AC5, and so you're potentially throwing 30 down, but you got to hit with them.
And
so,
then isn't the jam happens like on the more you're shooting,
the more
through,
you shoot, the easier it is to jam.
It goes up to like a 4. If you roll a 4 or less, it jams if you're holding the button down. Yeah. Okay.
And so and then similar to like missiles, you roll to see if you hit, and then you roll to see how many hit.
Okay.
Again, going back to that prime variant, armament is 2 EMRG Galaxy Series Gauss rifles, 2 Type X short bow LRM-10 launchers, 4 Series 2B extended range medium lasers. So really, it's 2 Gauss rifles, and then some LRMs to crit seek after you punch the big holes. So you're opening up their armor and you're following it up with a bunch of missiles filling in the holes. Again, just a fun unit. Definitely the big brother to the Mad Cat for sure. It's and it's a beautiful sculpt. I mean, this thing is going to be a lot of fun to put on the table, and
it's going to be a lot of fun to paint.
Yeah.
Again, these plastic miniatures are such a dream to paint. I don't say that because I don't paint enough, but when I do enjoy the plastics a hell of a lot better than I do all the metal ones. All right, well that gets through all of the mechs.
Nope, we got 1 left.
Oh shoot,
1 left.
I forgot.
The cover boy.
The cover boy.
You can't forget about the cover boy.
I tried to skip right over him.
Oh. Okay, so I think this is the 3rd region we've gotten now.
Correct.
Because it originally came out in metal. Then we got it right shortly after that in plastic.
Or vice versa. I think it came out in plastic and metal about the same time, I think.
Okay.
Either way.
And then did we get another plastic one, or is this only the 2nd plastic one? Okay. So
no new variants on this one.
No new variants on this. This is I refer to the region as this is an upgraded Atlas. So yes, it's lighter. It's only 90 tons instead of 100. But if you were actually taking an Atlas from the older eras, 3050, 3025, that era, and giving it the armament it probably should have nowadays, you're basically creating a region and you're saving 10 tons doing so. And so this is now, the mech symbol. It seems to be the one that they're kind of
trying to move to.
Yeah, focusing on as being the current.
I like the pose of this, right? Again, I don't think we've talked about poses a lot with all of these, but again, they're all moving, right? Yeah. Sorry.
Region Prime Alpha Strike card, 51 points, TMM1, 6-inch move, 653, 9 armor, 7 structure, Case 2 Flak 110, and then Omni. So you're looking at an Intersphere Omni mech that has good short and medium range damage. On the other side, we're going to switch to the Region A, 49 points, TMM1, 6-inch move, 554. Maintains that 9 armor, 7 structure, Case and Omni. So you've just got a beefy, I mean, it's going to last a while. It's going to take a while to chew through 16 pips. And you're throwing out your share of damage in the process. But just a great looking, fun unit. And again, I think this is going to be the poster boy of this generation.
All right, that gets that. Now we're through, right?
We'll throw up a little more. Throw up the pilot card. We got to talk about the classic side. So, Region A configuration. Armament is 3 extended range PPCs with capacitors, 1 extended range medium laser, and a coolant pod. When we were looking up variants that we were talking about for this one, I think there's one that's just a heavy improved Gauss rifle and a HAG 30, and that's it. And so again, just that massive hole puncher and that follow-up crit seeker. So fun variants to be had with this one. And I just because of how they're treating this mech as a poster child, I think there's a lot more to come. Region C.
Just to finish out the cards.
Yeah, go back to these since we didn't put the cards up earlier.
Because they are in the core set.
Hammerhead, 40 points. And this is the Hammerhead 2 now. So this is the new variant. TMM2, 10-inch move, 420. What is that? 10 armor, 2 structure?
Yes.
AMS, crit resistant, and E&E. So there's your new variant of the Hammerhead, as well as the 38-point standard TMM2, 10-inch move, 332. Cuts us back to 8 armor, 2 structure, but adds crit resistant. So there's your Hammerhead. And the Contio, TMM3, 18-inch mover, 52 points, 440 with overheat. ECM, E&E, melee, stealth, and TSM. So it's got
the kitchen sink, man.
It's got all the buttons.
Jeez.
You're hitting all the buttons with this bad boy, all at once, doing everything.
That's 52 points, though.
But you're paying for it. Again, on the other side, I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, there isn't a variant of the Contio.
Yeah, there is not a variant of the Contio yet, so you just get a little different art on the back side than you do the front. So you can flip it over and play with a different mech. Maybe flip it over halfway through the game when you've taken too much damage and you want to play with a fresh one. But just a super scary unit. Actually, Ryan in the chat ran a salvage game where you could add things to your mech, and I think I ran this and just kept adding things to it. And so
well, that's just mean.
Just a lot of fun. Super excited to actually have that in plastic.
All right, so let's get into some of the other stuff that's in the box set. First, we'll start off with the poster that they gave us. That is bright, it's shiny, it's very cool. I think we talked about how many different units are on here. So we have the blue here is Big Mac. We have Dawn Guards, and we have this lone Vulture.
Torian.
Torian? Is that the Torian dude? I don't think so.
No? Oh.
Anyway.
I thought it was painted the same as the one that's on the...
So that's the poster that you can get and hang up. It's beautiful. High gloss. It is glossy. It is very glossy. And then on the back side is the map that gives us for 3150 and 3152, sorry. And there is a lot of planets on here. And I think you could use this for campaigns and doing that kind of thing. I think the nice thing with it being so glossy, I'll bet the wet erase or dry erase, you'd be able to, dot what you want or where you're at, or draw a line from I'm going to here to there.
It's the
Elysian Lancers.
Yeah,
Okay. So that's the poster that comes in the box. Well done.
They have yet to start referring to this as the Alaric era, but they're getting closer.
We have the record sheets. That it's a booklet. Probably want to run that through the copier, right? Not do that. We do have the core rules. We're not going to go through this very much because I think this is just a subset of the core rule book. But again, they have done an amazing, just hats off to the layout people on this book. They killed it. Here's our Bushido guy made it on the back of this one. That's awesome. But I had a chance to read through this, and I mean, just very, very quickly. And again, we'll get into more of this in the box set. But I just wanted to show this, just as an idea, right, of what they decided to do or how they're depicting things. This is top notch. Keith Hahn and his group. I think you guys did an amazing job on this rule book. One thing that really stood out to me, and again, it's one of those additive things, was this Saga's book. Little pamphlet, little primer. And what I really liked about this is that it actually will go through and tell you, it's got a little short story or a poem or something about each one of the house units, and then tells you where to go if you want to learn more about it. Like this, we've talked about it on our podcast a couple of different times, but I think it's one of the strengths of the BattleTech universe is all of the different house units and mercenaries and clans, and all of them have their own little nuances or things that they are popular for or whatever. This book kind of illustrates and shows that. We even talk about mercenaries, this side, mercenaries a little bit, let you know. And then, we get into trying to help you decide what your play style is and the kind of mechs that you want to use. I thought this was really, really well done. If you're buying this box and you enjoy the game and you want to go forward with it, this I think does a great job of leading you to making decisions that will help continue to have fun in the game. We have the same flyer that we had in the starter box. This one I'm glad to see we have a flyer for Iron Winds. And for those of you who maybe be new to the game or don't know, Iron Winds has been around for a long time, and they have been up until the Clan Invasion Kickstarter was the only place that you could get miniatures, and they are in pewter. They come in pieces, or some of them do, which allows you to, as we've discussed earlier, action poses and doing different things like that. So they take a little more work and a little more effort to put together, but it is another source of being able to get miniatures that you may find or see on master unit lists that you want to play with. Iron Wind, if it's not in plastic, check Iron Winds. 9 chances out of 10 will be there.
And if you needed an Iron Winds Metal Mini, where would you go to get it?
Well, I think that would be ironwindmetals.com
and or
Ares Games and Miniatures.
Absolutely. I have a massive collection of metal minis that I've gotten from Ares over the last couple of years. So I seem to find a lot of obscure mechs that I want that do not come in plastic yet.
So
although Ray, if you're listening, Storm Raider, we'll talk about it.
Then we have excuse me, some more chits or hex modifiers for the game to be able to add various different elements to the game. We've got heavy smoke, we've got fog, we have mud, we have fire, we have objectives, we have buildings, and we have light and medium and that kind of thing on the backside here too. So a good addition to be able to modify the maps that come in the box. Speaking of maps, we get 2. Let's see whether we can. Well, we get 2 maps, but I'll bet there's 4 because they're double-sided. And then there we go. So let's set that out here like this.
So again, giving you a nice little idea with some level 3, mostly level 2, some level 1. You've got some water. So not a starter map as much so as was in the starter box, but this is starting to get you to some more things without being overly complicated and being a nice playable map for everybody else. Backside, again, fairly similar minus the road. Level 2, level 3. You've just got some hills to work around, as well as a little bit of water. And so this is just a desert version, similar to the front side.
Very typical of what I would consider a BattleTech map. This has enough interesting terrain on it to have some different situations that can come up that you have to tactically figure out or work around.
Yep, and again, I don't see anything that stands out to me as a super advantageous point just from a quick glance, but it's definitely something where you're going to want to, you're going to have a different fight in this quadrant versus in that quadrant, and that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's going to make us move and make the game be a little different every time I play it.
And then we'll get into this one. This one is we are getting even more complex, right? We'll go this way.
We're getting some hills now.
Yeah. Now we're getting into some stuff. So we got a lot of hills, we got a lot of trees. To me, it gets busy, right?
You're getting brawly here.
Yeah.
This is the kind of map I like because it's forcing you to get together. You're not
going to stand off. Those extended LRMs aren't going to get you a lot done on this table.
Your 38 inches of range is probably not coming into play here. There's enough spots where I can, I guess, hide from you on this to get closer, and to work my way towards you, so you can't just stand and hide from me.
Yeah. All right, and then we've got the flip side of that. We've got basically, I think, the same. A little different, but similar, right? We have the desert side, but we've got a mix of hills and a mix of trees. And I think this one goes to a max. Here's a level 3 here.
Yeah, I don't think they went too crazy with height changes here. You just got a couple of level 3s, primarily level 1s and 2s. So again, a fairly brawly map that's going to force some movement.
Yep. All right, and then in almost every box set that you get, you will get your crit chart or a cheat sheet to help you with remembering or being able to look up various different things very quickly. This is very heavy stock. I like these. They're very handy. If you're playing classic, you should probably be carrying one of those almost all the time.
With all the changes, I think those are going to be sought after.
Yes.
Just because I think a lot of people have the old ones, and now with some of the changes that have happened, you're going to need new ones. And so I think there's going to be a lot of people looking to get multiple copies of those so that they have them and are able to, make sure they're playing the new rules correctly. Because there's enough changes in the book that we'll get into in a minute that it's going to affect games. And again, I think the biggest positive with the core book is that you don't have to play it. If you don't want to play core, you want to go back to Total Warfare, feel free. If you enjoy playing with standees, if you want to do it this way, feel free. They're not telling you have to.
No.
They're just telling you that this will be the
this standard. Is what we're going forward with.
This is the standard, and you're allowed to play your way beyond that.
Well, but also understand, right, that with the new core coming out, my understanding is that the first convention where CDT will be fully using the core rules will be Adepticon of 2027. So before you go to a convention and before there's a lot of worry about what rule set are we going to play, I think it's open to the TO or whoever's running the event on which rule set they want to use. But as far as I know, from a CDT perspective, I think we'll be fully on board at conventions using core. So that is something that yes, you can play the way that you want, but I'll understand that when you do go to a convention, we're all playing by the same set of rules.
Right. And the goal is to make sure that, the bulk of the player base is able to get this in their hands several months before you're forced to play with it at a convention. You're not forced to play with it at home or at your game store. You can switch whenever you want. But when you go to Gen Con this year, Origins just happened, any of the ones that happened at the end of the calendar year, you're still going to be playing Total Warfare until this is readily available at retail, in stores, PDF versions online. They're going to want to make sure everybody's playing by the same rules until that's that point, and that's understandable.
Yes.
And because again, the amount of time it took for them from start to finish to create and kick out all these products, I think is pretty darn incredible. And
well, the thing that I'm most thrilled about this book in particular is the fact that CGL reached out to the player group, and we had 7 play packets, I think.
I
7 play packets that illustrated proposed rule changes for people to get a chance to try them out, feel them out, and get their voice back, and feel like we had say in what we wanted in our rule book. I think that was top notch, right? They did an amazing job of including the community, and I think it paid off.
I think the side table one is really the one that stands out to me the most, because they wanted to change. If you're on my right side, you can't hit my left.
You couldn't hit anything on the left.
And while physically that makes some sense, you're also assuming the mech is either standing still or not moving or occupying, hex is 30 meters by 30 meters. They're going to be dynamic in that instance. So there should be a chance that you can hit their opposite side a little bit. And so I think that was a good thing. I understand why they wanted to change it. They want to streamline the game. They want to make it so that it's not a 4 or 5 hour experience every single time you go to the table. But this allows them to, maintain the game. And the players seem to really want it. I think that was one of the changes that had a massive pushback. And they just said no.
And they listened to the player group, and they acquiesced that change.
Yeah. In here, and we'll dive into this a little bit. Obviously, we're not going to go through 270 some pages, but there again, is.
I will say. I mean, just paging through this book, again, hats off to Dak and the layout team. I know Ray, you do some of the work with layout as well. You guys killed it on this book. You guys, I mean, I think up until this one, Mech Manual was kind of this is the gold standard as far as rules go, layout and that kind of thing. Guys, you guys killed it in this book. Layout, the diagrams, the examples, and the art. The art is amazing throughout the entire book. I know we were talking earlier this morning when we were at breakfast about how much we think having painted miniatures in the book really, really enhance the appeal.
Well, we've got some pages marked that we really wanted to show, and so we'll jump to the one right away and
put it up.
And so we'll start off as best. You want to hand me one of those Fort Lance packs?
Oh yeah,
so I can prop. So
that work there.
Again, this is let's go this route.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Hit me with the.
I'll hit you with the hard one.
Hit me with the close up.
Hit you with the hard one.
Right. All right. So here's the mini. It's an actual painted mini photograph put in the book. There's a couple hundred of these, or maybe I'm exaggerating, but it feels like there's a couple hundred of these pictures in this book. And I just think seeing the painted mini, seeing the job that's been done, the inspiration that comes from it is absolutely incredible. And then when you have an example like this where you can actually get and put the painted mini down right in front of you is super special, because this is a Bushido painted mini that made it into this book. And I mean, it's flawless in person. I can't even begin to explain how great this mech looks, and now it's immortalized forever in the core book. And so,
and I have to give shout outs to not only Kevin for doing the amazing work that we know that he can do any given time, but also to Sean Goolsby. Sean reached out to Bushido to have this miniature, or to he asked Bushido to do a miniature for my 50th birthday, and he delivered this to me, I think, in March, because Kevin held on to it to see whether we could get it, or whether it would go into a book. So I just want to say again, thank you to those two for doing this and getting that done. It is, you guys, if you ever get a chance to see and talk to Kevin, he's an amazing individual who will gladly let you handle his miniatures and take a look at them. I highly recommend that if you get that opportunity to really see what these artists can do in making these miniatures look amazing. I mean, if you look at it a little crossways, you swear to God it moves. They are unbelievable. Bushido, B1B. I'm naming some of the older folks because I know we've gotten some new ones.
Arclight, Love to Pronk. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, well, I mean, if I really wanted, I could.
Just go to the front page.
There's a
that is one criticism that I will say of the book that I wish that they would have done, is that on all of the painted miniatures and all of the art that is in the book, while they are listed in the credits, I think it would go a really long ways to include the artist with the art in the book.
So you can see a list of Camo Specs painters all listed out. I'm not going to read the names because I would butcher some of those names, but really cool to see all the artists get acknowledgments. And then actually, if I go over here to the list of public playtesters, it's like 2.5 columns long of people who submitted feedback for the playtest packets that came out. There were a couple, I believe, qualifications. I can't speak to that. But you had to be positive. You had to actually give suggestions. You had to help advance the book and not just criticize. And then you were given credit for your help. And there's
a lot of names.
There's a column and a half of names, and the print isn't very big. So there's 300-400 names pretty easily in here. But another thing I'll give a shout out to. I'm gonna move your fancy mini so I don't accidentally knock it down. Just something else that's really neat.
You want to do the book?
Yeah, let's do the book shot. A lot of people will recognize this. Uber would tell you it came out in 1985 because he'd finally be correct. And that is, again, they redid some of the box art. And then here's the spine art from the old books.
Oh, that's so cool.
They've just updated this to make it look better. And so as you go through the book, you'll notice some things like that the details were found in this book and in all these sets that are coming out that I really think they did a phenomenal job. Will there be some spelling errors and small mistakes? Yes. I mean, it happens. It happens in every book, but I'm really excited to kind of show that off. One thing that I always thought was super neat.
Oh yeah, we talked about this at length last night.
The military organization chart, left side gives you the inner sphere military, right side gives you the clan military, and it's really just to kind of show you how big, a command regiment is, how big a galaxy is. And it's just massive amounts of mechs. And while we've seen these charts before, actually seeing it broke down. So if you wanted to paint minis and you wanted to say, I'm going to paint a galaxy of, Clan Wolf Beta Galaxy, which I probably have close to. I mean, you got to figure out how many you've got to paint to make that work. And so, and then you can organize them. Just kind of a neat touch, something fun. Here's again, Andrew kind of spoiled this a little bit earlier, but they really walk through line of sight and how it works. And really, can I see this? Can I see this? Does he get partial cover? Does he not get partial cover? Do the woods apply? A lot of those things. And
I mean, these 2 pages alone, I think, are this is a significant portion of the game right here.
Yeah.
Is these 2 pages in determining what can I see, how can I see it, what can I see, to determine how you're going to move forward with. And I think with this, right, this layout is amazing. In the example was really interesting. In when I read the core, the core book rule book, they left a thing at the bottom to say, now determine line of sight from this guy and who can he see, right? I don't know if they left an answer someplace in the book because I didn't run across it,
right,
which upsets me a little bit. I wish there was a little spoiler someplace else in the back of the book to say, oh, by the way, an example, here's what the answers were, right? But these 2 pages, I think, just illustrate how well done the rest of the book has been done.
To me, the thing that really stands out about this is some of your niche moments. A death from above attack, a charge attack, falling into water. It's on 1 page. You go to this page to look at all the details, and it talks about for the attacker, for the defender, for this. Here's the outcome. And there's a lot of step by step. Like there's an entire section in this on how to apply damage. And it walks it through. Yes, for most of us that have played for years, that's super basic, right? You know how to apply damage. But if you were brand new coming into this, here's a step-by-step, fill in these dots, then move to these dots, then move to this location, then move to this location. It's really nice and very clean. And so when you do get into some of these complicated niche moments, I don't want to pull out 2 separate books and have to look on 4 different pages in each book to find the ruling that I'm looking for. In this book, it's on 1 page, and if it's not, it tells you the reference to the other page.
Fantastic.
The other nice thing is everything is divided into sections. And so when you're going to switch to a new section of the book, and now we're going to talk about damage, you get a beautiful artwork with a fun quote from something that happened in actual Battletech lore, and then it walks you through the damage section and how to apply it, and it goes on. And yeah, it's all listed on the sides, tells you what was before it, tells you what's coming after it. Everything is set up. Location for critical hit effects, and then it walks you through everything that happened, and whether or not you ignore, such as some of the leg crits, what has happened previously or how it adds to the PSR. We can't walk through everything for you guys, but it's really neat. The charts in this book are in the book in the front, printed again in the back if you wanted to make copies, so you would have them. They're all very well done, super clean. Going to be amazing to have.
I wonder if because I think they have done this in the past. They have made these charts available as a separate PDF download that I hope that they will do in the future, right? Because the charts are make it amazing.
Right.
Shit, that's a cool ass picture.
Yeah. So this is one I actually wanted to show off. You'll notice in this picture, beautiful iron cheetah. Gargoyle in the center, Loki on the left. Just again, another section page broken off. Now we're going to get into weapons and equipment, and again, you'll see some Dragoon mechs in their natural habitat of being repaired after getting their butts kicked. So had to show that one off. So no, super fun. It's clean. I don't necessarily love all of the rule changes. I'm gonna miss ammo explosions, right?
That was the one that I had heard about it, and I didn't pay like the attention I should have, but I do know that changed, and I think I'm gonna miss that as well, right?
I've gotten to a point now. There's no playing to win. right? I am very comfortable losing units. And as long as cool stuff happens on the table, that's really all that matters.
Well, I
And-
mean, let's address that right too, because I mean, classic. This game is it's about telling a story, right?
Right.
Every game, because of the intricacies and all the variable things that can happen, every game is a story.
Right.
And did we remove some of that story aspect with some of the rule changes that happened?
I don't know. The ammo thing is still going to be devastating. It's capped at 20 points now. So if your machine gun ammo explodes, instead of taking 400 damage, you're going to take 20. And so that's still going to be devastating because that's going to rip through the torso, the arm, whatever, of just about every unit that it hits. And so the golden BB is still there. Now you're not going to take 400 points of chain damage to blow you to bits. No, there's a chance you survive it. In some mechs, you will survive it. But at the same time, like, losing a mech to an ammo explosion is devastating in a game. And so at the wrong time for the wrong player in the wrong situation, that's gonna alter the whole game and maybe take the fun away. And so I understand it for balancing purposes, especially in either in a competitive game or in a casual game where you're having fun with friends. You don't want to lose a mech on the first turn to a lucky roll. And so, but I always thought of, okay, first you need to roll the 2-hit. Maybe it's a tough to hit. Maybe they got to have an 11. Then their next roll, if they hit location, probably has to be a 2 if you're in a fairly fresh mech. Now you got to do your crit chance. So it takes multiple great rolls in a row to cause the golden BB. So that was why I was always fine with it. But at the same time, I'm good with capping it as well. It's just I'm going to miss watching things get vaporized when ammo explodes. But as often as players we're dumping ammo, it makes sense because that's what would end up happening is they would just dump their ammo. Especially machine gun ammo, because without combined arms, it's almost pointless. Except for on units that's all they carry.
So what do we have for sections in here? Going from the back, right? We have the indexes. We have compiled tables. We go into weapons and equipment tables. Here's an Appendix D, common misconceptions. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
They actually talk about, so I'm assuming this is a fact where
this is an FAQ.
This is things that happen that, no, this is the right way to do it.
Right, correct.
That's phenomenal.
A couple pages of that, you get into some tripod stuff. Then there's an entire section of missions. So there's probably 20 pages of missions that it gives you using the objective tokens that were in the box. It's going to walk you through what type of mission you can play. Just some suggestions. Do you want to try a raid? Do you want to try a heist? Do you want to try an escort mission? They're all written up in there, how to play them, different ways to play them, different options. And so very clean, very well done, very written out. You're going to get into weapons and equipment after that. I believe in front of that is
battlefield support, aerospace.
Aerospace is in front of that, and then regular battlefield BSPs. A lot of people are not going to be happy about that, right? BSPs are now the standard, using the BSP cards. They've made mechs the showcase of the game. That's okay. Vehicles are not gone. They're slightly nerfed. They're not supposed to be the stars of the show.
So the core takes out the classic piece of using vehicles, and vehicles now are the BSPs. Battlefield support cards.
Right. So
interesting.
Standard rules or core rules now, you're using BSPs for vehicles. You're not using record sheets.
Okay.
That is coming. And again, it's not difficult to figure out how to take them back, right? The record sheets already exist. The movement already exists. All those things. If you still want to play vehicles and infantry or battle armor as standard rules apply, you still can. Just play with the old rules. And it's not difficult to modify the current rules to fit those things, but BSPs are now the standard.
Okay.
And they're definitely not the same. They don't have the same feel. Most of the time there's a skill level assigned to each particular BSP.
And they're usually pretty bad.
Yeah, they're usually 5s and 6s.
Yeah.
And so they're not going to devastate the battlefield. But Yeah, then it gets into urban combat. I believe it gets into terrain prior to that.
Battlefield.
Yeah, battlefield terrain. Actions you can take, heat. Uh, prior to that is damage, and then combat, movement, and then just introduction to the game. So it has a section for just about everything. It's very, if you are an experienced player, 50% of this book is a complete refresher. You're already going to know how to do most movements, but the little niche movements, the things that happen once in a while, the things that cause a PSR, very well explained, typically on one page. Similar with the different attacks. I know charges got changed fairly drastically. It's all explained. It's all on one page, and so those things make it easy. I typically am the type of person who hates pulling out a rule book at a table. Slows the game down too much. If we think we know how to play it that way. Write it down, look it up tonight, send it to the group. Right? That's how I want to play, because I don't want to spend 30 minutes looking up everything. I think this will cut down on that. I still probably will not love having a rule book at the table, but at the same time, if I can look it up and get it right in 2 minutes or less,
But
we're going to be fine.
As you said, though, right? If we do get these charts
Right.
that are in the back, and if you're saying that all of these things are, I mean, like here, this is the piloting skill table from page 111. Each one of these, right, could be a card that, looking it up this way,
Right.
is a hell of a lot faster. And the nice thing about this is the table gives you the page,
Gives you the page
in the
number.
book where you got to go. So
for everything,
for everything,
for every different thing. So this is determining critical hits table.
Let's go here.
Determining critical hits table. It's going to tell you right at the top. It came from page 91. How you tell if you got a crit. Everybody knows 8 and above. What happens if you roll a 12 on a crit check on a limb, and then it's going to walk you through what happens if you hit the head, all the different things that can happen, and what happens when that happens. Tells you that's found on page 98. Torso is also page 98. Arms, page 97 and 98. Legs, page 98 and 99. Every chart is broke down with what the effects are for each one, and then what happens when that happens and where to find it in the book.
That is amazing.
Very clean, and they're all found in the back. All the different charts you're going to need are all right in a row in the back 10 pages.
That is fantastic. I don't think we've ever had that where the chart has had, here's the page in the book that discusses this, but having it laid out this way. Very, very few times are you going to have to actually go to the page to read it.
This is organized the way you probably always wanted Total Warfare to be.
Okay.
It's such a step up that it feels weird.
Weird.
Again, it's so clean. I haven't noticed many spelling errors. I haven't noticed many mistakes in the book. It's just really, really well done.
Fantastic. Do we have anything else? Anything else that we want to cover?
Do we have any questions or anything?
Yeah. Does anybody have anything that we haven't covered, or that you'd like to have us cover or talk about, or have you guys seen? We got the holler out for Topa. Yeah. Yeah, we'll wait just a bit, see if anybody's got any questions.
What you own it all. You've got all the cool. You got it before everybody else. Which is the first one of these minis you want to put on the table?
Man, I gotta say, I mean, the Contio sounds like it would be a fun unit to play. Just because of, I think the Contio is one of those mechs where you have a game within a game, right? Where you put it on the table and yeah, you're trying to win, but it has so many weird things on it that, well, can I do a claw with TSM engaged? Can I get that done in the game? Right? That might be okay, I got that. I achieved that objective, you know. To quote Dungeon Crawler Carl, you know, achievement, you know. That would be that'd be one of them. The solitaire, I think, would be a really fun unit to put on the table and cause some havoc with. Um, yeah, those two units stand out the most to me. Again, I'm more of an Alpha Strike player, so I don't really do the weapon nuances
Right.
a lot of what happens. So in Alpha Strike, obviously, right, the faster units are way more interesting to play because you can affect things a lot more interestingly. But you know, when we looked at all the weapon loadouts and things like that, I'm really happy to have the Uziel. That's always been a favorite mech of mine. The Eris is one that I had never really given a look at, but
Right.
it was like, holy shit,
I
this
didn't
is
even,
a really interesting unit.
I didn't even buy the premium.
Yeah.
Football has a question. What do you wish was in the core box set? I put my answer. Totally not biased at all.
So okay, so that was something that I did want to talk about. So I went through the master unit list on the units that were included in the core box set, and I tried to take either the latest edition unit that was produced, so what is in the 31, the 3075, 3100, whatever the latest release was, and I looked at what its availability was, right? And the Hollander is in Mercenary. The Solitaire is only in Clan Protectorate, Clan Sea Fox, and Rasselhog Dominion. Eris is Mercenary. Uziel is Mercenary. Rakshasa, Fed Sons, and Mercenary. The Vulture Mark IV is Inner Sphere and Clan General in Mercenary. The Mad Cat Mark II is Inner Sphere General and Mercenary. The Regent is Inner Sphere General and Mercenary. Criticism that I have here is that we have this wonderful tool of the master unit list, and I know I'm going to have some people get really angry or not angry, but I think the master unit list and playing in an era in having that availability adds interest to the game. And having that master unit list and having all of that available, all of these mechs are amazing except the Solitaire. The Solitaire wrecks everything as far as how you can build stuff. Now, I understand that not everybody plays that way, but if we spend a little more time with thinking about what's the availability of these units that match up with the master unit list, no one else is going to care. If you don't play that way, fine. But we have a lot of formats, we have a lot of things, we have a lot of scenarios that people are hinterlands, right? Core products that have, this is where you go and you have to follow these rules. And then you put out a core set that you're supposed to do that kind of stuff, and then you put a Solitaire in that doesn't fit anything else.
Right.
That I have a bit of an issue with that, because that is something, and then again, it might be a personal thing for me, but I don't think I'm speaking out of turn, or I might be speaking for a small minority. I think that needs to be addressed a little bit going forward, right?
And that would be, I guess I would answer this two ways, and it's probably not what I would want included as much as how I think it should be built, right? It should be divisible into two forces.
Yes.
And it's not, right? This army versus this army for brand new players. I think they did a really good job of giving us mechs that maybe weren't things that we had before.
I've called it eclectic.
Yeah.
Right? That it's an eclectic group of miniatures.
And so are we getting, Hollander's a phenomenal unit. A lot of people like to play with it. We didn't have it in plastic. Now we do. The Uziel, same type of thing. The two that I think I would have liked to have seen substituted, and I understand why they're there, but for different reasons. We just got a plastic hammerhead. So we got the prime, or the premium hammerhead. We just got a hammerhead in one of the Star League boxes, and now we got one here. I don't know that we needed that, right? It feels like you're giving us a lot of hammerheads when lore-wise, the Hammerhead really hasn't been in anything.
Right.
I don't remember. I have not yet read a book that contains a Hammerhead, and so I want things that are in the books that I'm currently reading, and so that's where I'm going with that. Is I would like to see things that are in lore. So I'd be all for a box set that comes with a book. We should have a Fox Patrol box set.
Yes.
Because that's become a popular series. We should get a whatever the next book is that's coming out. It would be amazing if they were able to time it and plan it so that it was 2 mechs from this army versus 2 mechs from that army. And so along with the Hammerhead, my other criticism, the other mech I would like to remove, obviously you can't, we talked about it, it's the cover boy, is the Regent. For the exact same reason. We just got it in metal. We just got it previously in plastic. Now we got another plastic one. It seems like for some of these units, we're getting, like we talked about, this is the 7th Timberwolf. Yes,
Yeah.
it's Daniel's favorite unit, but I don't need 7 Timberwolves. I don't need 7 Atlases. I don't need 3 different variants of the Regent. And so that would be my one criticism, and my one thing that I personally would like to change. It would be to more new, right? Selfishly, if we're going to get 8 mechs in a box, I would have liked to have seen at least 6 of them be things that aren't available in any form of plastic up till this point, or that haven't been recently released in metal.
Because I mean, in this box, right? The Regent is the only reprinted mech. Everything else is new.
Right. Oh, the Eris just came out in premium too.
Premium is different than
Right.
This model.
Right.
This is a far superior model than the premium.
Yeah.
Right. But I think that when you do put out a core product, it should be all new.
Right.
The
Regent is the only mech in there I would have changed out.
Yep. Well, for me, it would be the Solitaire as well. I would want to see more general or mercenary.
No.
And delete the dire wolf.
I'm even wearing the shirt that Corey gave me, and he's going to criticize me like that? Uncalled for. Uncalled for. But no, overall, there's a ton of stuff in that box that I want to see put on the table. I would run. We talked about last night, we should have set this up a hair better, of actually going straight from the discussion into a game using only the new minis.
Yeah.
And that would have been super fun.
Yeah.
We didn't take the time to unbox everything and balance the points and stuff. But we did talk about possibly going straight into a game and actually playing an Alpha Strike game with just the new minis. We should have done better, but that's on us.
That's the next time thing. We'll figure it out next time.
But it's a great product.
Despite the criticism, right?
Again,
Despite the criticism, it's just these are the things that I would like to have seen. Other than that, which are minor,
well,
they knocked it out of the park.
I always ask, what's perfect, right? The example I always use is when the Halo Infinite game was coming out, there were so many people online that if this game's not perfect, you're going to kill the franchise. If this game's, and so I'm sure the BattleTech people are saying the same thing. If core is not perfect, you're going to kill the franchise. And what's perfect? Like, yeah, but that's the thing is what's perfect? Because perfect for me is different from perfect for you, is different from perfect for Daniel, is different from perfect for everybody in this chat. And so if you let me pick the 8 mechs that we're going to be in that box,
we're
going to have some real Solaris. You're going to have a Cattle Master. You're going to have a Ronin. I mean, you're going to have some real Solaris garbage, and most people won't buy that. But I enjoy playing with that trash.
Well, so, I keep asking for an Agromech pack. I would love to have an Agromech Force pack.
I want a Cattle Master with the spear over the head, bringing it down. So, again, there's not a perfect pack. There's not a perfect book. There's not a perfect anything. And so that's the way it's going to be. Do I have some criticisms of this? Yes. Are they really small?
Yes.
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 Am I still going to buy at least 2 of everything we open?
Yes.
Yes. And so I think that's part of it. And if we weren't critical, if we didn't want perfect, we wouldn't be fans. Fans want perfection, and that's okay. But we also you have to understand on the opposite side of that is not everything can be perfect all the time. And so these are awesome products. These are huge steps in a great direction that I think they did a really good job with.
If this is what they did here is the new standard or what we can expect in our rule books, just how well it's laid out and how much clarity came here, that will bring players to the table because the game is not as complex now.
No, so much
it's going to bring people to the table. The layout, the diagrams, how they've explained things, everything about the product, about the new rules, and how they've presented them is amazing.
Right. They made some changes with the idea of speeding up the game, and that's okay. I don't.
It's having become an Alpha Strike player. It's one of the criticisms that I have with Classic is right. I can play 2 games of Alpha Strike with twice the amount of models than what I can in the same amount of time in a Classic game.
Right.
And there's so much more downtime. And when I say downtime is, the firing phases and the rolling and the evaluating and the marking. There's so much more time in that than there is actually moving and playing and how do I figure out my tactics. It's me personally, right? But we're gonna do this. I'm gonna read through this because I'm curious now, all the little nuanced things. I'm really curious of how they turn the buttons a little bit. Like I said, I read the core rule, the core box, that rule book, and was impressed. But we're gonna do this. We're gonna figure it out. Anyway,
you know why you should.
Obviously, why?
Because it's just a
better game. It's just a better game. Does the chat have anything while we were, bashing on my on what I love?
No.
No? All right. Well, with that, Daniel, I'm going to ask you here in a minute to in the bottom right corner there, stop stream. I want to again, I want to say thank you to Catalyst Game Labs. In particular, Michael Saravella and Randall Bills for sending me all this amazing stuff. I apologize that I didn't get this out quicker when I did post the pictures. Like I said, it literally showed up 10 minutes before I left for Florida. And this, when Tom said that he and Daniel were going to be available to come down, I figured it would be a way better show than having you sitting next to me than just me doing this by myself. So
this is just fun. I'm no longer patiently waiting for the availability to buy this stuff. I was patiently waiting. At this point, I can't do it.
Now you can't wait anymore?
Right. Yeah.
All right. Now, again, thank you, Randall. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, CGL. Thank you to all our fans. Thank you to the folks who joined us on the chat. I hope that we did it justice. I hope we got people excited. We're going to see all this product at Gen Con. We will be there running the tournaments like we always do. So please stop by, say hi, shake our hands. Let me know what you think. If there's anything that we should be doing or can be doing. I know I've had a couple of folks reach out and say, hey, we need to start streaming games again. I've got down here. I've gotten everything resorted out. So I'm hoping that I can get back to that. With that, thank you, Tom.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Daniel, for coming down and helping. Daniel's been running the chat for us. So thank you very much for that. And with that, we're going to sign off and say thank you for joining, and hopefully you enjoyed the show. So have a great 4th of July. We are, what is it? The 3rd. Tomorrow's the 4th. So remember, folks, fireworks are dangerous. Keep your hands away. There we go.
Hopefully your mechs are the only thing exploding.
There you go. Roll 12s. Thank you, guys. Take care. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again soon.